Yo, Shams Charania's screen time is gonna be crazy this offseason. Y'all, these trades have been ridiculous so far. Yesterday, I didn't do a video on this, but let's just mention this real quick. Isaiah Stewart was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies, so he will be joining Ja Morant, and that's what the Grizzlies are trying to do. They're trying to build around Ja Morant so they don't have to trade him. But if they end up trading him, or he ends up requesting a trade or signs with a new team, then this is gonna be pointless. But the Memphis Grizzlies defense is gonna get better with the improvement and with the addition of Isaiah Stewart joining the team. So that's a pretty good trade for Memphis. And Detroit, we knew they was done with Isaiah Stewart. So Detroit, they also have some rebuilding to do. They want to make it back to the playoffs and hopefully make it a lot further than they did this playoff run. But we're getting into today's video. We've all heard the news. We've all seen Shams Charania, what he posted. The Charlotte Hornets are trading Lamelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves along with Josh Green for Naz Reid and a couple of picks. This is the most insane trade I think I've ever seen so far, and we're only early in this offseason. Without further ado, let's get into today's video.
Touch that tram, mama said pray then push, pop said grind on wish, coach said line up run, whole life drawn up off that pitch, court chalk on my socks, bus pass in my sock too, lunch card in my pocket dreams that I walk through, crossover on the clear lane, try to cross over my fear same, every brick that I threw up, built the backbone of my name.
We run the floor, we run the floor, we don't back down, we don't back down, every fall that we fail, put the strength in us now. Heads to the sky, heads to the sky, voices in one sound.
So sorry for the lateness also. I was attending a graduation. So we've been, on the clock with videos, trying to get these videos out to y'all. But this definitely shocked me when I first opened Instagram, because we kind of seen this coming a little bit, because this year was the only year that the Charlotte Hornets actually made it somewhat to the playoffs and actually got eliminated in the play-in tournament. So it was improvement, and we thought Lamelo Ball was going to at least stay. But Hornets got to realize this was a big-time sell, I believe. A big-time sell. But also, there are cons to the Minnesota Timberwolves and why they did this, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets real quick. Charlotte Hornets, they have no stars, nothing to build around, so they don't really know what to do. And this was a huge sell as well, because LaMelo Ball, he had a great season. He averaged 20 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 40% from field goal. That's really good, and that's exactly what Minnesota is going to need. And this is filthy, because you already have Anthony Edwards on the squad along with Rudy Gobert. So you have a little bit of defense right there, but LaMelo Ball, he doesn't have the best defense in the world because he has really bad defense inconsistencies and also injuries as well. But I think with the addition of LaMelo Ball going to the T-Wolves, it could limit his injuries because now he has help now and he's going to have an easier time. His life is going to be so much easier. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, they do have some shooting, they do have some playmaking, they have some assists, they got a little more rebounds, and someone to score the rock more. They tried the experiment with Julius Randle with Anthony Edwards. That did not work out well because Julius Randle had one of his worst playoff performances that we've seen from him in a long time. So they decided to move on from that experiment to get another star with LaMelo. And LaMelo's trying to get back to his all-star status. He wasn't an all-star for a while because of injury issues. But this is a great trade for Minnesota. Now, the cons of this trade. You did trade Naz Reid. And I do see people complaining about that they got rid of Naz Reid, and that doesn't look good on their part. But I don't think it's going to look that bad. Now, yes, the defense is going to take a toll. So Rudy Gobert, along with Jaden McDaniels, they're going to have to play way better defense because they're going to need some defensive help. They're going to need some rebounding help because Rudy Gobert can't be down there getting the rebounds all by himself. So they're going to need some more rebounding. And I think LaMelo Ball, he can do that a little bit, but he's not going to be doing everything on the court. He's mostly going to be the scorer, the go-to guy, the point guard that's going to be able to play make, get some buckets, score on the scoreboard, and it's going to be great. Naz Reid was very versatile. But, LaMelo Ball is too. If LaMelo Ball can stay healthy and he's going to have a healthy run, then the T-Wolves, they're going to be contenders going into the 2027 season. But, y'all, I really think this is a great trade for Minnesota. This is going to be filthy. This is going to be filthy. Now you actually have a point guard along with a great shooting guard. You got a center who can actually guard the paint, make great defensive stops. So I think the T-Wolves are going to be really huge. So if I had to grade this trade from A through F, I would say this is going to be an A. Not an A+, because I need to see this work out first. And if it doesn't work out, then it's going to be, it's going to have a lower ranking. But this is an A trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if you're the Charlotte Hornets, I want to say this is probably a D. Because you have no all-star, no scoring. You're going to have low scoring this year. You have a little bit of defense. It's not going to be the best. It's not going to be the best because the Hornets were selling with every opportunity with Lamelo. Now, Lamelo, I think throughout his entire time on the Hornets, he was trying to do everything himself. He did have his own team, but it didn't work because the experiments they were making, putting with Lamelo, wasn't working. They were barely making any experiments with him. Like James Bouknight, that was a horrible draft pick. Miles Bridges, that didn't work when it should have worked. It looked like it was going to work, but it didn't work. So they've had a couple of experiments that ultimately led to LaMelo Ball getting traded. So the Charlotte Hornets, they're going to have a bunch of rebuilding to do, which they should have built around LaMelo better. They didn't do that. And that was a big time sell. And also, they also deserve a D with this because you did trade your only all-star. Now, yes, I did say LaMelo Ball wasn't an all-star in a while, but he still has all-star potential. He just has to get back to that. If he's healthy, he's still going to be an all-star. But he basically still is an all-star. So that's a big, horrible, stupid part on the Hornets that they were trading LaMelo. Because now you got no all-stars now. You traded your only all-star, which you should have built around him a lot better. They didn't do that. But the Hornets, they're going to deserve a D. I don't think it was a good idea for them to trade him. They should have built around him better, and they didn't do that. But Naz Reid, welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina. LaMelo Ball, welcome to Minnesota. Let's see how good you are with Anthony Edwards. It's going to be a little freaky. That's all I'm going to say. But, y'all, that's all I got to say today. A bunch of trades this offseason. It's only early in the offseason, and these trades are getting ridiculous. Ridiculous. Can't wait to see on what's to come. But anyways, y'all, that's all I got to say. God loves you. Jesus is king. Peace out, everybody. Stay in the gym.